Hi guys, this is a video how to rebuild or build a new Transit Custom bonnet barrel. So this is the part number and this is what the kit consists of. So you've got all these little keyway slots and they're numbered on the little tab on the side. So you've got 5 number 1s, 5 number 2s, 5 number 3s, 5 number 4s, 5 number 5s, 5 11s, 5 12s, 5 13s, 5 14s and 5 15s. So the first thing to do is set all those in order. You also get a load of little springs. The barrel came like this, already in the housing. You've got this little plate, this little locking mechanism, the plastic bit that goes on the back, this little plastic clip and a tube of grease. Now I'm going to show you how to put all this together. Let me just set the phone down. Right, so first things first is, if you're using your key, it's probably a bit dirty. Use a little brush to get all of the dirt out. There you go, that's much cleaner. So now we've done that, this is the barrel inside. If you look inside, it's got a little like keyway bit there, and the same on this little black bit. It pushes out from the front. So now you can see. So there's the little slot at the back, and there's the other little slot on the casing. So you can, when you pull this apart, you've got all the slots to locate your little bits. Now this can only go one way. See, there's a gap in there now, so that is not the right way. So if we turn it the other way, see that bit at the top lines up, those two little slots, and at the back, this little slot and this little slot both line up. So take that apart, put that piece down. Now you've got holes each side, so a little hole for the spring and a hole for to sleeve the little clip. So there's 4 on that side, and 1 2 3 4 5 6. There's more on one side than the other. So anyway, it's a bit of trial and error really. So if we get a little spring, now these little springs are very small. If you get a magnetic, I've got a magnetic pick. So if I put that in that little hole, use my finger to slide it in. It's not easy if you've got fingers like a bunch of bananas. Now, I'll start with a number 1. I do have another little number underneath, which that doesn't make any difference. It's just the number on the little tag on the side. So you push that in, and then you try your key. And you can see that's still sat proud on there, so that's not right. So let's take that back out. It's always handy to have a pair of pin nose pliers as well, because you can just pull that out easier. So we'll try number 2. And now number 2, that's totally flush, sat perfect. And if you look at the bottom, it's sat perfect on the bottom. It's got to sit. Oh no, that's not. Now I've pushed it all the way and it's gone out the bottom, so that's not right either. It needs to be totally flush either side. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but I'll probably pause it and try again once we give you. Right, that's gone too far out of the bottom again. like I said, that you've got to make sure that sits flush. Even if that comes out a little bit, then it's not right. You need to keep trying. So that one fits the best. We'll just try the others just to make sure. Because it's if you're starting there and the key goes in and it's a 1 to 5, then that is right. The key wouldn't go in if it was not the right side. You've got to use the right slots on the right side. So this one's going to be a 1 to 5. That one next to it should be an 11 to 15. So like I said, so you just keep trying. So definitely none of those are very good fits apart from the very first number 1. So we'll put the number 1 in. Right, so that one fits the best. So now we're going to go to the next slot along. We get another little spring. It is fiddly, but just take your time. So now we're going to try, this is a number 11, so we're trying 11 in there. Put the key in, sitting proud at the top. So that one's not going to work. So if we do that, and we pull this out, and then we try number 12. Try number 12. Still a bit proud. Ditch the 12. Go to the 13. Right, now 13's in there. It is a bit stiff, but once it's gone in, I mean, we've got to grease all this afterwards anyway, and once it's in the thing, it's not going to have as much coming out of it. So yeah, so that's all gone in for those two. So again, now we're on the top row. We're back to a 1 to 5. I hate these little springs. So yeah, so I try number 1 again, and so forth. I'll be able to take the key out, won't I? No. There's a definite no. Maybe try number 5. That was so proud. Right, number 5. You sort of tell if you put a number 1 in and it sits miles too high. It's no good. So yeah. So there you go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get all these in, and then we'll go from there. Right, so I've totally finished. You can see that they're all in there, and they're all sat flush. So, like I said, whatever the top one is, so if that's an 11 to 15, all the top row will be 11 to 15. Or if it's the bottom row, the key will not go in. So if you've got if you put a 11 to 15 in there and the key doesn't go in, you know it's the 1 to 5. So then you're on the top 1 to 5s, bottoms 11 to 15. Like I said, I mean, if you wanted to, once you find the right number for the hole, you could just, I've laid paper on a tray, so you could just have a pen and write down, because like I said, there's only 4 on that side, and there's 6 on that side. So if you split it into 2 halves and begin at the front, right, 5, 13, 3, 11, for example, just write down from the front to back. Anyway, that is now done. What we need to do, you get a little tube of grease with it, or lubricating. We need to try and, I mean, you could take all these back out and try and do it again and get grease in there a bit better, but we're gonna just try and smear that in a bit on both sides. Then you just need to keep your finger underneath when you're doing this, because otherwise it's you can even sort of, well, another way, pull out a little bit, get a bit of grease on the sides at a time, push it back in and out. Just try and get what you can in there. Once it starts wearing in a bit, we'll put some in the barrel as well. Be a bit smoother. Right, I won't put any in the barrel yet, because what we're going to do now is we're trying to get this back on. Now remember I said you've got the tab at the back, has to line up with the other little tab at the back. So have a look. So that tab at the front, two little holes line up, two little tabs at the back lining up. So that's in there, right. Right, so try and keep it nice and steady and remove the key. Right, that's now in there. So the next part is it has to go into the main sleeve of the barrel. Now you've got a little gap at the back here with a little notch out of it. Those notches at the back of the barrel have to line up at the top of there. So if you slide that in, a little twist so it's straight. Now you can see at the top of the barrel, sorry, light's a bit poor in here. Top of the barrel, you can see the little notch, and then you know. So next you've got this little pair of wings. Now if you look at it carefully, it's actually got two different sides. One's got like a flat side, one's got a hook angle sort of side. So one's square, one's sort of pointed. And when you look at this inside the barrel, again, sorry for the bad light, you can see one side's square, one side's got a little lip. So the next thing is that you're probably better off trying with a pair of pliers maybe. Keep the barrel straight. Try and get that in. Right, you can see that's now fitted in the top. So that's now locked the outside of the cylinder in there. So that's now not movable. It's all locked in. So with that, you've then got another piece which has got a little tab on the top. You can see it's got a flat side and a bit sticking out. So the bit sticking out has to face outwards on the barrel. So when you put it in, it's going to go in and sit and locate in the little keyway. So it's just it's almost like a woodruff key and a keyway sitting in there. We're nearly there now. Next part is you've got a little tiny push clip. That needs to go into the locator for the lock at the back. I couldn't find anywhere where it says which way round, but I'm pretty sure the closest side of this little clip, you've got a domed side and a hollow side. The hollow side I would have thought went in that way because it seems the closer way. So you push that in there. You can't get it in any further with your fingers. Try and push it down, locate it with a pick tool or whatever you've got. So that is now in there. Then you have to push that down into there and clip it in if you can. Which I'm struggling with. Right, there she goes. So that's clipped in. That is now in there. So we put the key in. Oh, aha! Right. So yeah, so scratch that. I've done that wrong. So let's get this right way round. Put it back in. I thought we'd be able to do it without putting the roll pins in, but it wouldn't work. So we've now got to put this little set of wings back in the right way. Right, so that's back in there. Right, so I've hold it in before I put it all together. We've got a working barrel. So if we take that out, right, so we know it's all moving. You've got two little roll pins that come with it. You know it's all lined up. And now you have to push in these little holes here. Which is a bit awkward. I think I'm going to have to get a pair of grips on this. Right. I'm going to pause this and come back once I've pushed this roll pin in. Right, I've actually just used the bottom, soft bottom of the pick on the bench to do this. So once you've pushed it in, just use the end of the pick to see it a little bit further. Mind you don't stab your hands. Right, so that's totally hidden inside. You can just about see it's gone in. So that is now a working barrel to fit my old key. So what I'm going to do now is try and push a bit of lube down in the actual cylinder with the key, or even on the key, whichever way. You can clean the key off afterwards. Just want to make sure. You don't want to grease anything else inside of this because it'll just pick up a load of dirt. This is the actual cylinder itself is sealed on the end with the little metal plate, but obviously you don't want to push it actually on this inside of the cylinder because that'll just pick up a load of dirt in the grease and make it wear. So it's pretty smooth now. So the next thing to be will also, it comes with the rubber cover, new rubber cover, which goes on the outside. They're not the best of designs on these Transit Customs. On the newer facelift one, they changed to a pull handle on a cable inside. So But I mean, this, I've just bought this barrel, I've bought everything, the whole mechanism to redo it, because mine's knackered, and I bought a barrel off of eBay and it fell to bits straight away. So I've spent the money. I think it was about £120 at Parts Plus, and it's all genuine for. So now when I go to put that on the van, I may do another video of how to take it apart, because you've got a metal clip at the back that clips through these two little slots there. So when you push the barrel in, it pushes into the clip, and that's what holds it. So yeah, you do get quite a few spare springs in the end. You've got plenty of spare tabs with the numbers on. I'll probably keep these, because the lock's hardly not going to wear, I suppose. It doesn't get much use, but if something goes wrong with it, I've got all of the little spare parts. It all comes back apart again just by pushing the roll pins out, pulling the cylinder out, just the same as what you did. So you can always take it apart and play about, but I'm hoping that that's it now. That's that part complete. Well, I hope you've found this video useful. See you another day. Thanks.